the Muslim world to deal with problems like and the security of Israel, Palestine, Kashmir, and so on. We need to alleviate poverty. We need to educate the poor. We need to explain to people in places like this what it would mean to live under Al-Qaeda. And as the British did with the IRA, we may need to speak to elected people such as Hamas. But what we cannot do under any circumstances is to negotiate with mass murderers who represent nobody but themselves.
Adam Holloway, thank you very much indeed. How do you know that you wouldn't be dealing with anybody rational until you sit down and try to talk to them?
I don't know.
They offered talks. October the 14th, 2002, bin Laden said on the internet, "We call on you, the American people, to deal with us and interact with us on the basis of mutual interests and benefits."
Well, mutual interests and benefits, I mean, these are people...
That was far more rational than you were getting from the IRA for a long time.
Well, no, I mean, there's a big difference because the IRA, actually represented somebody. At the time before we even negotiated with the IRA, their leadership were elected members of British Parliament, although they wouldn't sit there because they wouldn't give allegiance to the Queen. This is a completely different thing of a totally different order. These guys...
So you only sit down with elected people?
No, well, no, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. But, I mean, I think...
You sit down with people you like?
Well, I try to sit down only with people I like, yes.
It's not very productive, though, is it?
Well, sometimes it can be for me. But, we cannot give these guys the credibility. I mean, look, we've got lots of problems across the world, but particularly in the Middle East. And what happens is, we've created this sort of icon of Al-Qaeda as, the people, if you're against the West, you're in favor of Al-Qaeda. Well, that's quite wrong. There are lots of people who for a very long time have been trying to deal with these issues, and suddenly these maniacs come along, and, they're supposed to...
You say maniacs, but they effectively kill thousands of people,
Suddenly these guys come along, and, they're supposed to be the only game in town. They're not.
Adam Holloway, thank you very much indeed. I'm going to throw it open. I know there are a lot of questions out there. I'm going to throw it open to the floor. Gentleman in the fourth row, up there. I think you had your hand up there. Yes, you.
This is a question to Terry Waite. Terrorism is an industry. You've got a higher level. You've got people, soldiers on the ground. How are you going, when you consider that, like drug dealers, they will morph themselves into any profitable business, how do you know you're ever going to satisfy them?
Let me just put this into a broader context. We are seeing within the Islamic world a broader insurgency movement, and that is a desire within Muslim societies for a greater sense of Muslim identity, autonomy, freedom from Western imposition, and to develop societies on Islamic terms, free from some of the Western secular concepts. Now that is those are particular aims to which I could subscribe. I think that's quite laudable to actually move in that direction. Al-Qaeda are in fact taking the extreme position and saying we will achieve unity in the Islamic world and we will achieve victory by fighting by battle. And terrorist movements attract to themselves, I think our speaker here does them an injustice when he says there are not coldly rational people there. There are. But terrorist movements also attract to themselves people who are psychopathic by disposition. Now, if you wish to, in fact, begin to resolve this problem, you have to seek an entry. And you seek an entry by establishing a firmer dialogue and relationship with the Islamic world to begin with.
Let me bring Laith Kubba in here.
Dear Sir, allow me to say I fully understand and sympathize with the return to Islam, and I think this is very real, very rooted in Muslim countries, but I fundamentally differentiate this from what Al-Qaeda is doing. What Al-Qaeda is doing has become, in a way, an industry, very effective in its delivery, but it festers on issues, religious and ideological. It does not relate to Islam and the return of Islam.
But you see, if I may say so, the West, with its tactics, has built up Al-Qaeda. Guantanamo Bay, extraordinary renditions. They have actually fueled Al-Qaeda.
Well, they post-dated Al-Qaeda, didn't they? Al-Qaeda's been around long before Guantanamo Bay. and Abu Ghraib.
Yes,
at
but they
least in
fueled it.
Western
They've
events.
added those factors, Guantanamo Bay and extraordinary rendition, and all that's gone with it, have actually brought in new recruits to Al Qaeda.
All right, very brief
That's my
comment, Laith
point.
Kubba, and then we're going to move on.
I cannot agree more that we need to handle conditions that led to their growth. I cannot agree more we need to expose their ideologies and theology, but fundamentally they are an effective death machine
All right,
with many
okay,
roots.
you made that point. Lady in the third row.
I have a question. If you think talking to them would resolve this, what do you think we can talk to them about? And if talking to them would fix it, then do you think we shouldn't punish them for the thousands of people they killed?
General Durrani.
People do start from extreme positions, and as you go on, sometimes people with the extremist positions are isolated, and at times you may find that incrementally you have covered certain grounds where some of them will gravitate towards you, and will be prepared to compromise.
Adam
and
Holloway,
talk about it.
one, come in here.
I mean, Tim, you've pressed me, and so has Terry, on what I mean by rational. I mean, as I see it, there's two types of terrorists in the world today. There's the apocalyptic one who kind of defines himself by some sort of religious thing,